What is going on? Today's video, like the last few videos, brought to you by Atlas Gunworks because I still have the Erebus, but not for long. It's about to go in this bag and then into that box and then head back to Atlas, and I'm quite bummed about this. If you want appropriate background music for this, just pause the video, go find like Sarah McLachlan's Eyes of an Angel, something like that. Play it nice and low underneath. That would be very appropriate for the mood right now. But I figured I should give this like a nice send off, since I actually got a reasonable amount of time with this gun and I got to go do some cool stuff. So I shot a little over 1,000 rounds through it total. I didn't keep exact track, but it was definitely over 1,000, give or take, like 100. And more importantly, I got to shoot a major match with it. So I went and I shot Battle for the South out at in North Carolina, and great match. Was like marching towards the top 5 finish. Excuse me. And then had a nice catastrophic rifle malfunction, which will be a totally different video that we'll get into later. But anyway, so basically shot a 5th place finish, but ended at 8th because of a rifle malfunction on the last target of a stage. But as it goes, that was my fault too. I'm not saying I deserve 5th, I deserve 8th, because that's what happened. I loaded that ammo, I cleaned that gun. All of that's on me. But my point is I feel like I shot very well, and a big part of that was this gun. Now, marching to a major match with a gun that I had shot, 700-ish rounds through before going to the match is not something that I generally like to do. Usually I want a lot more time behind a gun before I'm willing to shoot it in a major match, especially one that I'm going to fly to, and I felt very, very comfortable shooting this gun in that match. It allowed me to do some very aggressive things with the pistol that I might not have done with my old pistol. It is legitimately the nicest pistol I've ever shot, and I've shot a lot of very nice guns that even cost more than this. This is legitimately the nicest pistol I've ever shot, and I'm quite disappointed to send it back. So a couple things I want to talk about. The safety thing. If you've been watching all these videos, you guys know that I wasn't a fan of the big paddle safety because I didn't like having to get up over the top of something like that, and I didn't actually like the 45-degree safety. Both of those, by the time I was done with the match, I actually liked both of them. So a couple of the things about this gun that I didn't think I would like, that I thought I would actually not like, I actually turned out to like. And one of the reasons is, like I said, I broke my thumb a while ago, and you can put your thumb kind of on the edge of the safety like this. You don't actually have to wrap it all the way on the frame. So it actually made the gun more comfortable for my thumb with that break. The other thing I had going on when I was practicing initially was, as I was loading the mag, I was coming back up here and I was just re-gripping the gun. I was bumping the safety on with my left hand as I re-gripped. I didn't have that happen at all in the match. So yeah, the couple things I was concerned about turned out not to be a thing. I addressed this in the other video, but the aluminum grip and the aluminum magwell, steel mags, and binding issues not being as smooth as plastic grip and plastic mags, I also didn't notice that at all. I didn't have any problems. I even put up another video where I put all of my reloads in the video so you can see what those all felt like. Now, the only thing that I had happen, if you want to see all the pistol shooting for this video, I'm not going to throw it in this one. Excuse me, I'm still a little bit sick. I'm not going to throw it in this video because I just want to get this out the door because I have to ship this back to these guys. But you can go look at my match footage, so just scroll back about 3 videos or so on my channel there. And Battle for the South has every shot I fired in the entire match. And you're gonna notice 2 pistol malfunctions in that match. So I had 2 spots in the match these were the only malfunctions I had with this gun. And what happened was I had a 3-point malfunction on both of them. So what a 3-point malfunction is as the bullet comes out of the mag, it turns and it hits the chamber, like it hits the feeder ramp and it comes up into the chamber at too steep of an angle and doesn't make that turn that goes in. Now, there's a couple things that'll generally cause this. Thing number 1 is your ammo being too short for the gun. I don't think that's what it was in this case, and I'll talk about that in a later video about reloading. but I think it was something else. Thing number 2, out of tune mags. That wasn't the case because my mags are brand new, which leaves me with thing number 3, which is short stroking. So the slide not getting all the way back to pick up the back of the brass. So it'll pick up essentially the top of the brass and start pushing forward. So when the brass leaves the magazine, the slide isn't on the back of the brass, it's on the top of the brass, and then the brass does one of these. So the good thing is it's a super easy malfunction to fix. But as you're shooting, blah, 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 your slide will lock about 3/4 of the way back like this. All you do is you just reach up and open your slide and dump that round out, and you can go back to shooting. So you'll see that in 2 of the stages. I think it was stage 6, and I don't remember the other stage it happened on. But it happened on 2 stages. Anyways, it was a bummer on one of the stages because it left me 1 round short. I was really kind of running one of the positions pretty tight, and I came up around short and ended up with a standard reload. So again, my fault. That was just piss poor stage planning, and I got a little bit too aggressive. But why I think it's happening is because the ammo that I was shooting through it, they're 115 grain full metal jacket bullets with about 4.2 grains of tight group on top of them. That ammo makes major in my other gun, just barely. It's like 130 power factor, and so it's a reasonably light load. And that's a 5.4 inch barrel. So the barrel on that gun is like longer than this entire gun with the comp on it. That means there's more burn time for the powder to burn as the bullet goes out the end of the barrel. So I know for a fact that ammo actually doesn't make major in an Athena, which is a 4.6 inch gun. This is an even shorter slide than that. I actually don't remember how long the barrel is and how long the slide is in an Erebus, but the Athena is a little bit longer than the slide on the Erebus. So this is actually a sub 4.6 inch gun. So I'm essentially was running like just under minor power factor ammo, which was part of it. But the other thing is the way that comps work. There's a little bit of misunderstanding on how comps actually work on a pistol. And one of the things they do, so obviously they blow gas out the top, which pushes the gun down, which reduces recoil or muzzle rise rather. It doesn't necessarily reduce recoil, depends on the comp. The other thing they do is they actually delay unlock time just a little bit. So think of like a bearing delay PCC, like a new JP5 or a Mean Arms bearing delay, or if you're old school like me, think of an MP5, right? The idea is there is a mechanism in there that separates the time from the gun going off to the time where the slide actually starts cycling. Same thing with AR rifles and longer gas systems. As you get a longer gas system, your unlock time starts being separated from the actual firing of the round by more and more. And we're talking like hundreds, if not thousands of seconds. Like it's an extremely small amount of time, but it has a huge impact on the recoil impulse of the pistol. So that's one of the reasons that something like the Erebus here feels so soft, because as that gas is going up, when your barrel unlocks, your barrel actually has to rise a little bit. So everything is coming back and your barrel goes up. You can't see it quite as good on this because everything is so like tight and clean. Let me grab another gun here really quick so you can maybe see. It'll be really obvious on a Glock. So when your barrel unlocks, your barrel actually points up a little bit. So one of the things that a comp does is not only is it holding the gun down, but it's holding the barrel down relative to the gun, and that delays the unlock time the smallest amount. It is an extremely minimal amount. So I think what was happening is the combination of it's pretty light ammo, and it's also super not appropriate ammo for this gun. If you're loading ammo for a comped gun, generally you want a lot of slow burning powder that's super gassy, pushes all that gas out the top. I'm shooting tight group, which is a notoriously fast burning powder. It's like kind of the worst thing to put in here, which really is even more impressive because I am shooting like the worst hand loads that I could basically make for this gun, and it still shot amazing. So the combination of it being essentially a sub-minor round in this gun, just probably like 124 or something like that, and having a comp on top, so I'm like slightly delaying the unlock time. The combination of those two things, I believe, came together to cause those 3-point malfunctions. I don't think it was a bolt length issue, although longer is always better. I just sat here for, I don't know, 20 minutes before this trying to recreate this so I could show it to you guys, and I couldn't make it happen, even with some like really smushed in dummy rounds, stuff that have been dropped on the floor a whole bunch. All of those, no matter what kind of weird little shenanigans I did, would just feed into the gun. So I'm pretty sure it was the sub-minor combined with the comp. Now, if this is the gun that I end up buying, which it might be, I will definitely load different ammo for it. I might have some like kind of tight group, you know, just blazing along, practice ammo or something like that, but I will definitely load very specific match ammo that is going to get the most value out of the comp, because as much as I love this gun, you can make it even better if you load ammo specifically designed for a comped gun. And then, you know, and then I wouldn't have that 3-point malfunction. So yeah, if you watch the video, you see those couple malfunctions. That's what happened there. That is not something that I would equate to the gun's fault. That's something I'd equate to my fault. I had similar malfunctions in my old gun before. That was a result of a very out of tune magazine. So I retuned my magazines and then everything was working again. But you can just see how much longer this thing is. So this is the ammo that, or the gun that ammo is loaded for. And if we go port to port, I mean, the barrel on this gun is longer than the distance all the way to the end of the comp, plus a little bit. So basically I was shooting ammo that was slightly underpowered for the gun, and in a little over 1,000 rounds, it gave me 2 malfunctions as a result of that. So what do I think? I mean, like I said, it's legitimately the nicest gun I've ever shot. The only things that I would change on it is maybe playing around with some grip panels. I actually did have some grip panels to play around with, and I accidentally ended up with 2 right-hand grip panels, so I didn't have a chance to do that, but that is something that I'm going to play around with. I don't know that my hands being the size they are, I don't know that having the raised grip panel on the right side is going to be fit with my hands being so small. But I am very excited about the stepped left-hand side grip panel, so you can get your left hand sort of on the back of that, get a little bit more meat on the thing. Yeah, the aluminum grip, one of the mornings I shot very early. I was like the 3rd shooter up, and it was, oh, I don't know, it was probably like 40 degrees. It was like super misty, very cold morning. One of those where you like unzip your jacket, throw it on the ground, shoot your stage, put your jacket back on. I did notice this being pretty cold. That, you know, it's a steel gun, it's an aluminum gun, it's a metal gun. Metal guns are cold when it's cold. I would do what I see most metal grip people doing. They take a little chemical heat pack and just stick it in the grip there before they're on the stage and warm it up. I'd probably do something along those lines if I was shooting this gun in very cold environments. It's you know, it's sort of like the reloading thing. Like, yes, this is definitely a little bit easier to reload than this. Did I actually notice that when I was shooting a stage? No, I did not. I only noticed this in practice when I was doing a bunch of reps dry firing in the basement. Do I think that there's enough of an advantage of this style grip over this style grip to make it worth it? Absolutely, I do. Am I willing to have this thing be cold in the morning for all of the other advantages that it gives me? Absolutely, yes, I am. You know, if I was carrying this gun for duty or something like that, that answer might change, but I don't know. If you're carrying this gun for duty and you pull this thing out, you probably don't care how warm or cold the grip is. What else on there? I also commented that I didn't like the dual-sided safety. I did think about that every time I dumped a gun. I really like single-sided safety, so I can dump a handgun on its right side when you're doing gun transitions, but you know, it never clicked off and DQ'd me. It's got a very, very positive detent. I think you'd have to like basically put the gun in upside down almost to push down on that safety to make the safety come off when you're when you're doing your transitions. So I don't think that's actually a problem. And the way the grip sits here, actually, it's kind of stepped. Not a lot of the safety is exposed, so I don't think that would really be much of an issue. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. It was great. It shot great. It ran great. It was super accurate. It allowed me to shoot some long range shots really aggressively. One of the shots, I think I shot over 50 yards with it on 3 different stages, and I was able to shoot very aggressively on both of them, or on all 3 of them. One of the stages that you transition across a plate rack, and then, you know, that was like 10 yards, and then you shot like a 55 yard 10-inch plate, and I basically shot that as if it was the next plate on the plate rack. I just went tink, 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 and dumped the gun. And then on one of the other targets, or one of the other stages with a 50-yard shot, there was a Texas Star and then a 10-inch plate at like 50 yards. And same thing, I just like cleaned the star, shot the plate super aggressively, shot this partial, and then dumped the gun. I did have to hot holster the gun a couple times. That was totally fine. And for my holster, step out here really quick. I'm running this guy, which it looks like this is one of the 597 Safariland GLS holsters. So it has a retention device here, so when you grip the gun, your hands come over that and then release that mechanism. I found this holster to be totally fine. It's certainly not as nice as some of the nice holster options out there, but I do like that GLS system quite a bit, and it felt very secure with this pistol. I didn't have any problems there. But yeah, I'm very disappointed that I have to send this gun back. I'm really bummed about it. But you know, there's going to be another one on the way. I'm not sure which next pistol is going to be available. I'm hoping it's the Apollo, so I can compare the Apollo to this thing side by side, because the Apollo is, you know, it's a ported gun instead of a comped gun. You don't have this island style block up there that has to be fitted to a whole bunch of things at the same time. So that makes it easier to manufacture, read, cheaper. And also, if you're really going crazy with the tuning, I'm guessing I'm not going to be able to make it shoot as clean as this, but from all accounts, it sounds like it shoots nearly as good as the Erebus with just like factory ammo. If you're shooting something like I'm shooting with like really spicy powder, it sounds like the performance is going to be about the same between the two of them, and that you only start getting the real benefits of a comp when you go like full send tuning ammo for the thing. So I'm really hoping that's the case, because if it is, it's going to save me about $1,500 and just be a simpler gun with less possible things to go wrong. You know, this titanium comp sitting flush with all these other parts. If you get, you know, any foreign debris and that stuff, you know, you could in theory make this thing stop working. And I'm usually a fan of simple, so yeah, we'll see what it is. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about this gun, any questions about the grip coming for this, any questions about the mags I switched to, just leave all that stuff up in the comments. We'll get them answered. And I'm gonna put this gun in this bag in that box and send it back to them. I'm very sad, but what are you gonna do? At least I got to play around with it. See you guys.